They called them land pirates. For generations, the people of this New Jersey shoreline carried a dark accusation that on the blackest nights, when the sea was at its worst, they hung false lights along the coast to lure ships onto the rocks. Then they stripped the wreckage clean. The truth is more complicated and far more interesting. Long before any European set foot on this narrow strip of sand between the Atlantic Ocean and the Shrewsbury River, the Lenape people knew this place. Archaeologists have traced their presence here back 12,000 years. They were seasonal dwellers, following the rhythms of the coast. In warmer months, they fished the river for shellfish and harvested the bounty of the shore. When winter came, they moved inland. In 1688, a man named Eliakim Wardell changed everything. He purchased 454 acres from the Lenape, all the land north of Long Branch, below Sandy Hook, between the Shrewsbury River and the Atlantic Ocean. The price? £4, paid in blankets, clothing, and hardware, roughly 11 cents an acre. As settlements grew along the shore, so did the shipwrecks. Between 1846 and 1848 alone, more than 120 vessels wrecked along the New Jersey coast. And with each disaster came a damning rumor that the locals were not just salvaging the wreckage, they were causing it. The people of Monmouth County were branded bandits and land pirates. Newspapers accused them of hanging false lights to confuse ships' captains, driving vessels onto sandbars so they could plunder the cargo. In 1799, the New Jersey legislature made it a crime to display false lights to induce a shipwreck. But here is the part that history often forgets. There is no evidence, none, that anyone in Monmouth County ever lured a ship to its destruction. The so-called wreckers were in fact wreckmasters, government-appointed officials who coordinated rescues and protected survivors. The real story of this coast is not piracy, it is heroism. After the wreck of the New Era off what is now Asbury Park in 1854, a disaster that drowned more than 240 German immigrants in a single nor'easter, the federal government created the United States Life-Saving Service. Stations were built roughly every 3 miles along the coast. The men who served in them were called surfmen, and later storm warriors. Their unofficial oath became legend. You have to go out. Nothing says you have to come back. The Monmouth Beach station was built in 1895. Over 4 decades, the Life-Saving Service aided more than 28,000 vessels and rescued nearly 180,000 people. That station still stands today. It is the Monmouth Beach Cultural Center. While surfmen were risking their lives in the waves, a very different kind of ambition was taking shape on dry land. In 1871, 18 of the most powerful men on the East Coast formed the Monmouth Beach Association and bought up the coastline. Their ranks included George Robeson, the Secretary of the Navy under President Grant, David Depew, Chief Justice of the New Jersey Supreme Court, Alexander Cattell, a United States Senator, and Daniel Dodd, a prominent banker. Their goal, as the New York Times reported in 1878, was a community of, quote, uncommon exclusiveness. They built what locals called the Wooden Palaces. Along a 1.6-mile stretch of Ocean Avenue, 100 feet wide, lined with mansions, the nation's bankers, industrialists, and political elite erected their summer kingdoms. The avenue was nicknamed the Golden Road. But the money that built Millionaire's Row did not all come from honest enterprise. George Robeson, the association's most prominent founder, was running what Congress would later call a system of corruption. As Secretary of the Navy, Robeson controlled $56 million in construction funds. In 1876, a congressional investigation discovered that $15 million of it had simply vanished. Investigators found that a grain contractor named Alexander Cattell and Company had given Robeson lavish gifts, a team of horses, Washington real estate, and a $320,000 vacation cottage right here on the Jersey Shore. The Congressional Committee recommended impeachment. President Grant refused to act. Robeson kept his post, and the man behind the bribes, Senator Alexander Cattell, another founding member of the Monmouth Beach Association. The same senator who had voted to impeach President Andrew Johnson just 8 years earlier. Not all of Monmouth Beach's wealth was tainted. George Fisher Baker, whom Time magazine called the richest, most powerful, and most taciturn commercial banker in American history, built his estate, Seaverge, on Ocean Avenue in 1882. He had started as a teller. By the time he came to Monmouth Beach, he was a founding investor in what would become Citibank. Baker would go on to endow the Harvard Business School with $5 million, fund libraries at Dartmouth, and build Baker Field at Columbia. His architect, Bruce Price, helped inspire Frank Lloyd Wright. But Monmouth Beach was never only a playground for the rich. At its northern edge, in an area called Galilee, a different community thrived. These were fishermen, mostly of Norwegian and Swedish descent, hardworking families who had come to the Jersey Shore not for leisure but for the sea. In 1884, they chartered the Galilee Fishing Association and became a major supplier of fresh fish to the New York markets. While the millionaires sipped cocktails in their wooden palaces, the men of Galilee hauled nets in the Shrewsbury River before dawn. Then came Prohibition, and the same skills that made the men of Monmouth County legendary fishermen made them exceptional criminals. Monmouth County was perfectly suited for smuggling, riddled with small inlets and streams, home to experienced seamen and boat builders. The fishermen's traditional Seabright skiff was modified into something new, souped-up speedboats that could outrun Coast Guard cutters. On the darkest nights, the Rum Runners would race into the shallows of Raritan Bay, run their flat-bottomed skiffs up onto the beach, hand off crates of whiskey to a waiting truck, and vanish before the law arrived. When the government extended the rum line from 3 miles offshore to 12, it became too dangerous for the small craft. The golden age of bootlegging along the Monmouth shore came to an end. Monmouth Beach has always understood one fundamental truth: the ocean always wins. The German three-master Flottbeck wrecked here in 1901. Storms destroyed the wooden seawall in 1931. Engineers rebuilt, reinforced, and rebuilt again, making this stretch one of the most heavily engineered coastlines in the world. Then, on October 29, 2012, Hurricane Sandy proved that none of it was enough. Scientists called it one of the most powerful storms in recorded history. Millions of cubic yards of sand were swept away in a single night. Ocean and river met, with people in between. Today, Monmouth Beach is a quiet town of 3,200 people. The median home sells for around $750,000. The grand wooden palaces are long gone, replaced by condominiums and modern shore houses. The fishing boats no longer crowd the Galilee docks. The Rum Runners are the stuff of grandfathers' stories. But the life-saving station still stands. Restored and repurposed, it serves a community that has been battered by storms, shaped by scandal, and built on a narrow strip of sand that, by all logic, should have washed away centuries ago. Monmouth Beach endures. It always has.